Welcome back, everyone. Jerry Pitts is with us today, Lima attorney. We're talking about a law that goes into effect in June. The governor has signed it here in Ohio. You don't have to have a permit. You don't have to have any training to carry a gun around. I think those who were against it said it's going to be Saturday night at Tombstone. Others said, no, it's going to make things safer. But one of the issues you brought up, and I think we chatted about just briefly last time, was we're the 23rd state to have this, so all these states have different rules. What if I'm traveling up the interstate, if I'm going state to state? You probably have to do a little homework to know what's going on.
Exactly.
Right?
You got to know where you're going, how you're going to get there. And the crazy thing about all of this, by not having permits and or no training, the crazy thing about it all is if an officer stops you, and if he does not ask you if you have a weapon, you don't have to volunteer information that, oh, I have a weapon on me. You don't have to.
Right.
Now, if he asks you, or she asks you, and you lie about it, now it's just a misdemeanor 1.
You're in trouble a little bit then. Yeah.
A little bit of trouble.
Right.
No, but the crazy thing about this is we have that stand your ground law. Now that's going to be the biggie, because now people are going to be permitted to carry a gun as long as you're 21 and non-felon, supposedly. But we all know that the felons may have more guns than anybody else. Plus, what about the people who are gun collectors and decide to sell their collection? They don't have to do any kind of background check. And we got to also look at the people who sells guns. They're saying, well, they should get some verification before they sell you a gun. Those people are in business to sell guns.
Right.
They're not in business trying to take care of what the state should be taking care of itself. It's going to be, as of June, it's going to be really dangerous out there, because we're going to have a lot of people who feel they need to carry a gun who have no training. There's no permits or anything that are allowed there at that time. We're going to find a lot of problems that may occur with these people carrying weapons unprepared.
In your role as a defense attorney, when a rule like this comes down, especially about guns, are you given any kind of, does anybody come and say, hey, you got to keep this in mind in case you have a client that comes in, keep this in mind, you're going to have to defend some of these folks, that kind of, I mean, is there any, or you just kind of, you have to do the best you can, right?
It's going to be that way. Now, the situation is, everybody's going to be claiming self-defense.
Sure.
And it's going to be up to the prosecutor's office to show that it wasn't. So actually, that burden kind of shifts to them, because first thing you're going to deal with as a defense attorney is you're going to go from the angle of self-defense. Now, was the fear real or not, or was it justifiable or not? Those are going to be some gray areas that is going to be difficult for us as people to take care of. Yeah. The scary part about it all is that I think not only is it not going to deter crime, it may even create even more.
Well, it's funny you say that, because we were talking before we came on in Columbus. Those against it said it's going to create more crime. Those that were in favor of it said, oh, it'll actually deter crime. But the problem, the experts will say, is that no state has really had this out long enough to know what it's going to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, we have to consider the fact that the adrenaline level of people, even officers who get tons of training all the time, they say when they have to use their weapon, their adrenaline levels change. Now, we're going to have a bunch of folks out there who have no training, when I'm not sure, no permits.
Yeah.
And how they got the gun is maybe a mystery to us all. And ultimately, I'm thinking a lot of people may get hurt that shouldn't be.
The training part was what I think surprised most people, that they almost could understand the permit. Okay, I can get that either way. I may not be for that. But the fact that you have to have no training, don't have to know anything about handling the gun, that seemed a little strange to me.
I guess they were talking about learning by practice.
Yeah.
That's going to be dangerous in itself.
Yeah.
And if we just think about it, by 2023, we may not have any gun control laws.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Because each state now and everybody is jockeying for putting more guns out there on the street.
Yeah, and a lot of states are just mirroring what they see in other states. Like,
exactly.
We got to hurry and do what that state did. So
we're going to have to get some uniformity federally.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little more next time. Thank you, Jerry.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Dogoy Medical News coming up next on Noon Edition.